This is the only ball of the year, and I see why. Everyone is absurdly excited.
Your Highness, you sound so detached. We are all encouraged to enjoy the ball tomorrow.
Right you are. What a burden.
Huh. I never thought we'd see eye to eye, but I agree. I'd rather be swinging my blade than wasting my time with some girl at a ball.
Felix, Your Highness, you must be joking, right? This is our chance to dance with all of the ladies of the Academy to our heart's content. You wish to throw away the best day of the whole year for sword practice? Insanity, I tell you.
I'm pretty excited about the ball myself. It's not like we get to do things like this very often.
Too true, Ash. In fact, I'm going to do you a favor and give you a crash course in chatting up girls. By tomorrow, you'll be an expert.
Sylvain, don't be an
Actually,
influence.
I'd much prefer if someone could just teach me how to dance.
Don't worry about the dancing part. I can teach you that easy.
It's time for the ball. That warrants at least a tiny bit of makeup, don't you think, Ingrid? Just a smidge.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
It's settled. Tomorrow morning we'll meet up in Ingrid's room. Ooh, I can't wait!
You know, there's no telling where life will take us after we leave here. If only we could find a way to come together again, just like this.
A fine notion, Your Highness. Perhaps 5 years from now?
5 years from now? Ah, that's when Garrigmach Monastery will be holding its Millennium Festival.
By then, we'll be addressing Your Highness as Your Majesty instead.
That's right. I suppose we all know it's coming, but by then you'll be far removed from us.
Come now, you know me better than that. My title may change, but I won't. And it won't just be me, you know. 5 years from now, you'll all have your own stuffy positions to contend with. But as I understand it, the festivities at the Millennium Festival will be of a scale far beyond anything we've yet seen. In other words, the perfect excuse for all of us to return here.
Ooh, a reunion? That sounds fun! I wouldn't miss it for the world!
I'd love for you to be there as well, Professor. After
Who
all,
doesn't love a good
you're the heart of
reunion?
the Blue Lion House.
Well, yeah, I'll be there.
Good. Then it's settled. Of course, if something happens and I'm not able to attend, I'm leaving all of the logistics of organizing this reunion to you, Professor.
You have to be there.
It's true. I'm sure being a king will keep you busy, but it's a bit early to be backing out of your own plans, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Dimitri.
You have my word. I will return as well. Count on it.
Alright, here we go. Dance time. With all these randos we've never met before, and we'll never meet again. Hey, I know her. I know him. I know him, too. But it sure is interesting how Dimitri and Edelgard were kept in frame that whole time, right?
I understand. You hardly had the time to breathe in there. It must be hard to be the favorite teacher at the ball. Poor professor.
Yeah, it is hard, Sothis. Thank you.
So you do think you're the favorite? I might have known.
Of course I am. Well, well.
Professor, what are you doing here?
Yeah, aren't you gonna go dance with Edelgard, Dimitri?
No, I should think not. As a child, Edelgard taught me how to dance. It was a bit awkward, honestly.
Well, well. As a child?
I've told you before that we're siblings by marriage, haven't I?
He has
Her birth
mentioned it.
mother was my stepmother, although I didn't know that at the time. My stepmother treated me with such kindness, just as though I were her own flesh and blood. And yet she never so much as hinted that she had her own child, Edelgard. We were born and raised in different territories, without ever knowing the other even existed. Yet, against all odds, for just over a year, we became childhood friends.
Friends?
Indeed. Unaware of each other's stations or backgrounds, we met and became incredibly close. This was when she and Lord Arundel were living in the kingdom.
Why were they in the kingdom? I think it has to do with a rebellion. Yeah.
This was a time of great turmoil within the Empire. I ran into her when visiting Lord Arundel's residence with my father. She seemed quite bored with everything. At first, I found her to be difficult and stubborn. But that facade quickly fell away, revealing her true self beneath. That's around the time when she taught me how to dance. Her instruction was, though, let's call it strict, to put it nicely.
You're supposed to lead with your right.
Hell, the sun's going down. I really ought to be heading home.
That 1 year before she had to return to the Empire was so much
Her hair
fun.
is a different color.
The time of my life in many ways. It's kind of pathetic to think about it all these years later. But can you guess what I gave her as a parting gift?
Let's see. I'm going to pick what I know is the right answer. A dagger.
Huh. Good guess, Professor. But I swear, it came from the heart. In Faerghus, we've long considered blades as tools of destiny, as a way to cut a path to a better future. She was being dragged all over, unable to live the life she wanted. I thought the dagger could help her cut a path to the future she dreamed of. However, that was many years ago. I'm sure she's forgotten all about the boy I was back then.
Well, it's not too late to reconnect.
I'm afraid it's far too late for that. Things are different now. She's different. I'm different. Anyway, I'm feeling a bit out of place here. Festivities like this don't suit me. Still, I suppose I should get back in there. Goodbye, Professor.
Well,
But where is there to run? This place is
thanks
filled
for the
with
chat,
playful students
Dimitri.
looking for a dance.
but there is one place, I bet.
Ah, I see. The Goddess Tower waits for you.
I wonder who's going to be here.
Why, Professor! I was wondering where you ran off to. I searched the entire floor but couldn't find you anywhere.
How's it going, Mercedes?
I can tell by that look on your face. It must be exhausting being so popular, huh?
Yeah, I'm exhausted,
I can
alright.
imagine. Shall we take a break here then? Say, Professor, have you heard the legend of the Goddess Tower? They say that if two people exchange a vow here, the goddess herself will fulfill it.
I think I've heard that before.
Ah, so even you have heard that one. The stories must travel far.
All the way to the
Maybe I'll help
gatekeeper.
us come here in private. All thanks to that legend. They make promises to stay together forever. Things like that. I actually saw a man invite a lady to join him at the tower while on my way here. It's rather romantic, don't you think?
Yeah. We'll say yeah.
Indeed. Though, just because two people share a promise, that doesn't guarantee they'll be together forever. You've noticed many nobles at the Academy, right? They very rarely have the freedom to choose their own partners. Yet still they wish to stay together. Maybe that's why they pray to the goddess. Are you waiting on anyone, Professor?
Well, we did technically say this. I'll say yeah.
Oh my. Even though we didn't make plans to meet? You're a charmer, aren't you? Ah, I almost forgot why I came looking for you. I was wondering if you'd like to dance with me. It's just so loud in the reception hall, though. I think I'd rather stay here with you.
Well, this is
If it's
cute.
all right with you, Professor. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It seems that everyone is having a delightful time. Will you not dance some more?
All the lights are out. I'm tired. Cut me some
How dull of
slack.
you. Had I a body of my own? Oh, I would sing and dance until I fell upon the ground. But you? Do as you will. Oh, you're not the only one who feels that way. Look over there.
Ah, yes.
I'm bored beyond compare. Will you not follow her?
God, Sothis, you're such a little brat. Fine.
Oh, come on, hurry up. I know that you are curious to see what she is up to. I hear someone singing from over there.
I do think that's a curious line. On the swift river's drift. Get it? Because that's where Byleth wakes up. Soon.
That song. I feel that I have heard it in the past. Actually, it is not that I have heard it. Did I once sing that song to someone? No, there's more. I wrote this song. Oh, but how could that be so? If that were true, then how could she be singing it? Unless... No. I am suddenly so exhausted. As are you, no doubt? Quickly then, to bed with you.
Well, it's almost as if Sothis has existed long before. Living in Byleth's heart. Anywho, we're just gonna segue right into the supports. Because we've got a lot of them, so settle in. Alright, we've got not as much as I had thought. Catherine, Part 2. Part B.
I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it. Not too shabby, Professor.
Oh, I've just got eyes in the back of my head. they're basically the same. That wasn't
come
funny.
on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on.
Wow, okay. Catherine.
Aw, poor thing. Aren't you used to getting hurt? You've been in your fair share of battles. Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the scene in Dragon Ball Z. I think it's when Goku and Gohan are in the middle of their training for Cell. And they're at the part of their training where Goku has decided it's not about trying to get stronger, but trying to maintain Super Saiyan form all the time. So Goku and Krillin are like out in the field somewhere. Goku's taking a nap. And Krillin's like, wow, Goku is so cool. Even when he's sleeping, he's still a Super Saiyan. I bet he's actually aware of everything that's going on around for miles. I bet if I throw this rock at him, he'll blast it into 1,000,000 pieces. And so Krillin throws a rock at Goku and hits him right in the forehead. And Goku shoots up and he's like, ow, what the hell did you do that for, Krillin? What are you thinking? You know, it's just a rock, and Goku has done a lot. He's taken a lot more punches than just a casually tossed rock. But it's still very funny. That's what this was.
I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After extensive research, I've concluded that you really are first-rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but here you are. At first, I thought Gerald was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you. But no, Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out. Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator.
You still got Thunderbrand.
For Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing.
Yes, are you gonna stop watching me? Catherine, come on.
I plan to give Lady Rhea a detailed report about what you're up to. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
Oh, I guess I've got a stalker now. I guess I kind of had one with Hubert before. But we've got Cyril, Part B.
Keeping it clean, sweeping it clean. No more trash, nowhere, no how. Oh darn, there's trash over there.
Yeah, hard at work, I see, Cyril.
Hey, Professor. The cathedral's a real important place for the Church of Seiros, so I always make sure it's all sparkling clean. The monks do some cleaning too, and they tell me not to bother, and sometimes they even say to go away, but they just don't clean as good as I do. I don't stop until everything shines.
Are you a believer?
Not really. And Lady Rhea told me it's okay if I don't show an interest unless I feel like it. And I haven't so far, but I just want to take good care of the things she cares about. If there's a thing she wants taken care of, then I'll do it better than anyone else. What do you think? You'd go the extra mile for Lady Rhea, wouldn't you?
It's hard to find the time, we'll say.
Maybe you don't realize how great a person Lady Rhea is. She's always praying hard as she can for her followers all across Fodlan. She does it every single day. And even though she's always so busy, she tries to listen to as many people's needs as she can. When she's seen the kids who lost their parents in Remire Village, she didn't leave them there. She got the church to take those kids in, same as me.
Okay.
She's so kind. She's almost like a mom to all her followers, and just everybody that I can think of loves her.
I think it's about more than kindness.
Hang on, you trying to say you know more about Lady Rhea than I do?
Well, I know
Okay,
about her, more
maybe
about
she
her than
likes you more
you
than
do,
she likes
Cyril.
me. But I know that I know a whole lot more about her than you do. I know these things, okay? So don't go talking down to me like you know better.
That's not what I was trying to do, though.
Just as long as we're all clear on that.
Oh, alright, Cyril. Okay. Dimitri. Lots of stuff for Dimitri. Let's go.
He's always with that man from Dusker. How strange.
I'll bet he used some dirty tricks to gain his favor. That's how those scoundrels from Dusker operate.
Wow, I hate these
Pleasant
guys.
Conversation you seem to be having. May I join? Please, continue.
Oh, Your Highness, I was just...
I said continue.
I'm sorry, Your Highness.
Such foolishness runs rampant. I fear it is the reality of Faerghus for now.
It must appear strange to them, to see me always in your company.
Does it bother you to do?
Of course not. However...
Let me guess. You take exception to the gossip that you used dirty tricks to obtain your position. Is that it?
That does perturb me, but not for my own sake. I am concerned about your Highness's reputation.
We're not talking about my feelings, but yours. As far as I'm concerned, those fools can talk nonsense until their tongues fall out.
I am afraid I cannot agree. But if you were not concerned for your honor in this instance, then why did you intervene?
Because it is my duty to do so. The day my father was killed, I saw the swine who did it. They were not of Dusker. I saw that, knew it beyond a doubt, and yet I was unable to prevent the massacre that followed. Nor could I clear away the dishonor of regicide that has unjustly clung to you and your people. I will not rest until I make up for that. I owe you, just as I owe the spirits of those I let die.
I do consider Faerghus to be abhorrent, but you are an exception. You offered me your hand, and pulled me out from an abyss of suffering and death. You risked your life to save a foreigner you had never met. The moment you extended your hand, I decided that only for your sake would I live the remainder of my life, and I would cast it aside in an instant if my death were to your benefit. For that reason, I cannot consider myself your friend. There are still many in the kingdom who despise the people of Dusker. It would be selfish of me to stand by your side as an equal.
To do.
That's a weird way of looking at it.
Your Highness?
Do you really believe I care one bit about the chatter of the ignorant?
Of course not. Please forgive my impudence.
I understand the intention of your words. Still, they grieve me. If you wish it so, you may continue to think of yourself as my vassal. I clearly cannot stop you. We need not be anything more or anything less. If that is what you wish to do, so be it.
Your Highness.
Alright, seems like they're coming up to kind of a turning point, a crux in their relationship. Hey Dimitri Nash, how's it going?
Your Highness, sorry, I mean Dimitri, would you, do you want to train together today?
Ash, of course, I'm glad you asked. After classes conclude for the day, meet me at the training ground. I'll be waiting. And afterward, let's plan on dinner. We'll certainly have worked up an appetite.
Oh, yes, I suppose, I mean, sure, that is, it would be my pleasure to dine with you. I mean,
Ash.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. I'm just no good at this. I'll do my best to improve.
Are you still worrying over what I said to you before?
I'm trying to do as you asked, but it's just completely against my nature.
Trust me, I understand the urge to show respect where it is due. However, that is not the case here. Yes, I was brought up in a different family and raised in a different way, but otherwise, you and I are the same.
That all makes sense, Your Highness. But I just can't bring myself to speak to you in such a casual way. Sure, when you get right down to it, royalty like you and common folk like me, we're all just people. But the common folk still rely on the nobility to keep the peace and to keep them safe. Commoners pay the price for that in taxes and respect. That's what Lenato says.
I suppose I can understand that point of view. But the flaw in your logic is that I am not king just yet.
But that's not all there is to it. I also respect you as a person. You carry the weight of the whole kingdom on your shoulders. You're a faultless warrior, and you're always so kind to your allies, even me.
On all accounts, I can say the same of you. But you also have a strong heart. I can't say that about myself. No matter the circumstance, you are never drawn toward darkness. That mindset of yours has done me well on countless occasions.
Well, I do my best. So I guess mutual respect between us is what's really the most appropriate.
Precisely. Which means there's never any need to be nervous or uncomfortable around one another. It seems we may have circled back to where we started with this conversation, but let's at least agree that we both should learn to bend a bit. How's that sound?
All right. Let's start from the beginning then. Would you like to train with me today, Your Highness?
Of course, Ash. Come at me with everything you've got.
Alright, well, they're getting along now. Don't really have anything to say about that. Sylvain, what kind of shenanigans are you getting into?
Why are you in my room?
Sorry, I need to hide in here, just for a while. I'll have you know this is all your fault.
Hide? From who?
It's, a girl from the academy.
I'm sorry, it's a what?
This is all because of your insistence that I go and ask a girl out.
You didn't give her a dagger, did you? Is that why you're hiding? Does she have a dagger, Dimitri?
Look, you kept true to your promise to improve your behavior. So I felt it was only right to make good on my side of the bargain too.
You invited a girl to dinner and now she's chasing you around. What's the big deal? Unless... Did you use one of my pickup lines? Those words are dangerous in the wrong hands.
They're dangerous in your hands, Sylvain.
People know a line's a line and I'm joking. But you, nobody's ever accused you of being funny.
I clearly underestimated the difficulty of the task. But what do I do now?
Relax, Your Highness. Relax. I'll sort this whole thing out real easy. All we have to do is figure out how to make this girl lose interest in you. And making girls lose interest is what I'm best at. You just wait right there, and I'll fix everything.
It was my naivete that brought this about. I cannot place this immense burden on your shoulders.
This is no job for an amateur. You need a professional's help.
Alright, this
Trying
is
to do everything yourself
pretty
has never
good.
served you so well. So just leave this to the master. Even the dagger incident could have been avoided if you had just talked with me beforehand.
There wasn't time for consultation. I only learned she was leaving on the day of her departure.
Whatever you say. The point is, you need to learn to rely on me for these types of things in the future. For now, I got this. And if I ever need help with something you know how to help with, then maybe you can do the same for me.
Sylvain. Very well. When that time comes, I promise to help you as best I can. A knight of Faerghus never goes back on his word. Isn't that right? You're a good man, Sylvain. I'm sorry to do this to you. Best of luck.
Please, Your Highness. I've spent years honing my skills for just this situation. Watch and learn.
Oh, I would have liked to see what Sylvain could do. It's fine.
Your Highness, I have a little favor to ask of you.
Of course. How may I be of assistance?
Well, I was hoping you could tell me about my father. I imagine he was a very different man at home than he was at work.
Ah, so you wish to hear about the Gustav that I knew. As you know, he was a knight who served the royal family since my grandfather's reign. To me, he was a teacher of martial arts and tactics. He was someone I depended on since I was a small child. But he was also a very stern and strict instructor.
That doesn't surprise me. He was much the same at home. He'd chide us if we made mistakes, whether it was with cooking or even how we spoke.
Is that so? Funny. I suppose in front of his family he felt the need to demonstrate proper etiquette.
Wait, are you saying that's not how he was around you?
Even all these years later, there's something I recall with perfect clarity. It happened in the autumn of my 11th year. Before the break of dawn, he woke me suddenly, said he'd heard a disturbance and had me grab my bow. Then he sent me and a fellow pupil loose on a dark mountain. Our only directive was to go catch a deer. As you well know, autumn in the capital is very cold. Now, imagine being up on the mountain at night with no idea what might jump out from the shadows. That, in a nutshell, is the Gustav I knew.
I can hardly imagine that. He was completely different with me.
I recall one other defining detail. He used to speak of you at every possible opportunity.
Really? What would he say about me?
Are you sure you want to know? There's one story he used to tell from when you were very small.
No, stop! It's probably too embarrassing to bear. Is it?
Perhaps.
Look, I'll promise to forget the stories he told me about you if you return the favor. Deal?
Yes, that seems the only thing to do. It's a promise.
Oh, that's right. She did mention that there were stories about him that he had heard. Alright. Let's keep it rolling.
Ingrid, I've been doing some thinking, and it occurs to me that I owe you an apology.
What? Why do you seem so serious?
In a just world, you would be happily married to Glenn. He truly loved you, and it's clear that you care deeply for him as well. But on that awful night, he died right before my eyes. I could do nothing to prevent it. In a way, I'm responsible for you losing the joyous future that should have been yours. I know my words can change nothing, but I'm so sorry, Ingrid.
No, Your Highness. There's no need to apologize. Glenn's death, it still doesn't feel real. I always looked up to Glenn. He was the very picture of a perfect knight, noble and virtuous. In the end, he laid down his life, the ultimate sacrifice. I feel proud of him in ways that words can't quantify.
Proud? Truly?
That's right. I feel proud that he died for those he was sworn to protect. Proud that he passed from this realm to the next as a perfect knight.
Are you really trying to turn his needless death into an ideal to uphold? You and he are so alike.
Needless death? How can you say that? Glenn gave his life for you, for everyone, and this is how you speak of his sacrifice?
You weren't there. You didn't witness his last moments. If you had, you wouldn't feel that way.
I don't care to hear your interpretation of his final moments. He was and will always be an ideal knight.
You would do well to rethink that ideal, my friend.
Pardon me? He served in your guard. He took great pride in what he did, in protecting you. The very least you can do is not spit on his memory. If you'll excuse me.
What is the matter with me?
Lots of signs of dealing with trauma, it seems. Dimitri and Flame. We didn't get to see this before, that's for
Are
sure.
you on cooking duty today, Flame? That's unusual.
Indeed I am. I have been working away on this meal for hours now. The only thing is, each time it is my turn to tend to the meals, those in the dining hall seem to miraculously become very busy and evacuate the premises. I make the food, but nobody is ever here to eat it. I do not understand what the issue is. It is such a waste.
Well, you're in luck. I've just finished training and am positively ravenous. If you don't mind, I'd love to sample your cooking.
Really? I mean, yes, please, have some. It is not perfect, but I am certain it will taste quite nice all the same.
I'm sure it will be great. Thank you, Flane. There were a few suspiciously crunchy bits here and there, but other than that, it was fine.
You liked it? Wow, nobody has ever liked anything I've cooked. If I cannot get anyone else to eat this meal, though, it is going to spoil and go to waste. It is no secret to me that I am not very good at cooking.
Say, Flane, may I have a second helping?
You actually want more?
Of course. I wouldn't want it to go to waste after all the effort you put in. This kind of mishap can happen to anyone, you know? Don't let it get you down. Besides, I can tell you put a lot of love and dedication into preparing this food for everyone. That alone makes it taste good.
Does it, though?
There is no need for false flattery.
Like, does
I
it?
speak nothing short of the truth, always. It was delicious, and I look forward to eating it again sometime. I'll agree there's no need to make enough for everyone, though. If you like, you could just cook enough for me.
Perhaps. I hope you enjoy the rest of the meal.
Suspiciously crunchy bits. Don't like the sound of that.
Another day, another training session, I see. You're quite dedicated. And practicing with the sword today. You weren't any good with it when you were little, as I recall.
And who told you that?
Lord Rodrigue mentioned it to me. He said you used to swing your sword so hard that you'd break it.
Oh,
That was
hey.
ages ago. I've had plenty of time.
That came up with Felix, too.
Now I count swordplay as one of my specialties. Care to see for yourself?
Well, I can't just take your word for it, can I? Let's see what you've got. Well, I'm impressed. You're better than I expected.
I could say the same of you. I suppose we students still have much to learn.
No need for false modesty. We fought as equals just now. You're strong, and your form is excellent. You're clearly an experienced fighter. But you're greedy. You can't be so impatient to win. It'll come at a grave cost.
Greedy? I see. I'll take that note to heart. You have my thanks for the instruction.
Ah, it returns. The formality, the stiffness. Anyway, after we're through here, I might head into town for some food. Care to join me?
I appreciate the invitation, but I have certain duties I must attend to this evening.
Of course you do. Never mind about my plans then.
I thought you'd say that. You have the same sense of responsibility as I do.
You think so? I didn't want to push you to join me. We can just do it another day. I'll confess, I'm taking a shine to you. I'd like to talk to you more.
I would like that as well. Ever since I saw you wielding a sword all those years ago, I've been following in your footsteps. To be able to stand with you and cross swords is quite a...
Hey, slow down. Where did all this come from? You're embarrassing me. That's enough chatter for now anyway. Let's get back to sparring. This time with lances. I won't hold back. Show me what you can do.
Right. Prepare yourself.
Catherine, I think you're asking for it. And we're not going to find out. Alright, to do.
Oh, this is delicious. I can't believe I made it.
Yes, you do have some talent.
What's the matter? Have I got something on my face?
No, Sylvain. Recently I've heard rumors about you.
Oh yeah? Which ones? Is it that I'm terrible to girls? Or the rumor where I bring terrible misfortune to the girls I date? I don't, by the way, in case you're about to ask. Oh, I also heard about how I'm total trash and everyone should avoid me. That might be my favorite.
Well, you don't lack for self-awareness.
The way I figure it, if I can't be respected, I can at least be well informed.
You are being described as indefensibly worthless.
Indefensibly? That's a bit harsh.
I already knew your reputation concerning women, but these new rumors deprive you of all redemption. I did try to correct them, but I doubt I was believed.
Well, thank you all the same. Listen, you don't need to worry what people think about me. As you well know, it's not easy to correct misunderstandings or change people's minds. And if I'm going to behave so badly, it seems misunderstandings are inevitable.
I could not be silent. You saw me as a person, rather than merely as someone from Duscur. I want you to be seen as a person, too.
I appreciate that, Dedu. You think the world will ever see us that way?
Maybe.
Just a couple of misfits
I
getting
can't tell
along.
if you're joking or not, but I like it.
Then we will get along.
Alright, well that was nice. Short and sweet, I'll take it.
Ah, I think I get it. So the Sky God got into an argument with the Earth God, then Duscur was created?
To oversimplify it somewhat, yes.
There's something so mysterious about it. There are only mountains separating us from Duscur, but it's like a completely different world. This has been so interesting. I've never learned so much about it before.
There are not many left to pass on the legends of Duscur.
Really? That's a shame. It's almost like when someone dies, or a family line ends. I think a place is only truly destroyed when there's no one left to remember it. You should tell more people about Duscur to keep it alive.
That is a strange thing to say.
Oh? Why do you think that?
Duscur is forever the enemy of Faerghus. No one cares about our culture or history.
I'm different, though. I don't know anyone who was killed by the people of Duscur. I don't hold a grudge against you, and I never have. Dedu? Is this recipe from Duscur?
You don't care for it.
No. I was actually surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Would you teach me how to make it soon?
But it seems I am ever the teacher with you, and seldom the student.
You're right. I'm so sorry. Ah, I have an idea. My mother taught me to bake the perfect sweets to go with tea. Would you like to learn how to bake them? It's a secret Martreat's family recipe that's been passed down for generations.
Oh, to do, you
House
gotta learn
Martreats
from
of
that.
the Empire. I thought they were no more.
It's true. My father's family was wiped out in the Empire. I'm the last living descendant.
Are you certain you wish to impart such precious memories to me?
Of course. Now that my family's gone, I'm the only one who knows the secret. The sweets would vanish from Fodlan if something happened to me.
I see your point. Yes, I would like to learn.
Alright, well, that was nice. Dedu and Ingrid. Ingrid, are you gonna chill out?
Injured?
Dedu, saving the day again?
Apologies.
I'm the one who owes you an apology.
Oh, she is gonna chill
You've
out,
saved
maybe.
my life how many times now? If I keep being so callous, I'll seem ungrateful.
No matter.
But
I'm accustomed to it.
I'm sorry, Dedu.
Why?
Because the way I speak to you is unnecessarily harsh. The truth of it is, I lost someone very dear to me in Duscur. The punishment came swift to your people, and when I heard of the slaughters, well, I thought it was a punishment well earned. I thought the people cruel and heartless, deserving of the tragedy that ultimately befell them. But you're different. You seem nothing like the people of whom I speak. So why not speak back against how I and so many others feel? Why not question this unfair prejudice and tell me I haven't the right to hold a grudge against you? If you just speak to me, if you tell me the truth about all of this.
I do not know the truth of it myself. His Highness says the tragedy was not the fault of my people. But just like anywhere, there were many different people in Duscur, some very good, and others very bad. It is not unimaginable that some may have conspired to take part in that wickedness. Perhaps we are merely victims, or perhaps we are regicidal monsters.
Whatever the truth of it is, you are not to blame. The people I hate are the ones who were responsible for that whole mess. You just got caught up in all of it.
Ingrid.
You've rushed to my side. You've saved me countless times. I am sorry for how I've treated you. Truly.
If you think of me as your ally, that will suffice. For me, that is enough.
Okay. I'm glad they chilled out. Or Ingrid, rather, chilled out.
Chop the vegetables into bite-sized pieces. After that, skim the top layer off the pan. Be mindful of the heat.
Certainly, Chef Dedue.
There is no need to call me that. Are you displeased?
She sounds
no, not
tired.
in the slightest. I just got momentarily sleepy. It happens to me from time to time. Let me see. First, chop the vegetables. Coming right up, Chef. Dedue?
Good.
I am so bored. Day in and day out, it is nothing but dicing vegetables and waiting for water to boil. I want to feel like I am actually cooking. It is not as though I do not know the basics. He could at least let me hold the spatula sometime.
Next, we peel the vegetables.
Chef Dedue, I was hoping to speak with you regarding something that has been on my mind.
Speak?
Surely you have noticed my skill while wielding pans and knives. Therefore, I think it is time you taught me how to cook. Beyond all this water boiling and vegetable chopping business.
Impossible.
But why?
All must be done in the proper sequence. And the first step here, whether you like it or not, is to learn to use the tools perfectly.
Come now! You have seen how I use a ladle. You know I'm good for it. He has left me no option but to take matters into my own hands. Stubborn you may be, Chef Dedue, but I will show you the true meaning of delicious.
Will you though, Flame? I'm glad she's fired up at least. And Shamir. A couple of outsiders. Let's see how they interact.
It's you. What is it?
I have a message from His Highness. He will meet you in front of the library tomorrow evening.
Evening, library, front. Got it. Oh, one more thing. A bug landed on your shoulder. Sorry if I startled you. Anything else?
No.
Good.
You get to the point. It makes you easy to deal with.
Likewise.
Alright then.
No need to say what isn't worth saying, right?
Precisely. Few others seem to think so.
Agreed.
That is all. Farewell.
Farewell.
Just a couple of terse cards. All right, let's see what Felix has to say about Ash being a nerd.
Hi, Lenato.
Oh, hey Felix.
I suppose your thoughts are still with Lord Lenato.
I'm fine. I'm just frustrated by how little I was able to do. I know he was trying to protect me, but Lenato never really told me anything. In the end, I don't think I understood his feelings at all. You said it yourself. Be more moderate in your passions. To me, he always seemed like a knight out of a story. And I was so caught up in my ideals, I turned a blind eye to his sadness, his hatred, even when they were right in front of me. I guess I'm pretty far from real knighthood, huh?
Perhaps. Yet knowing someone well does not mean you know how they feel, whether family or friend. To know someone's sorrow and turn blindly from it, that is the act of a fool. But pursuing your ideals is not foolish.
But before, you said...
I said to be moderate in your passions, not to abandon your ideals. It's okay to be who you are.
Thank you. Hearing you say that means a lot.
Ah, I almost forgot. You lent me this.
I can't believe Felix is chilling out, too.
I'm guessing you hated it?
Actually, I already knew the story. My brother used to read it to me all the time.
Must have dug up some old feelings, then.
I suppose.
That's just what I'd expect the knight in the story to say. It's not just the way you talk either. It's who you are as a person, deep down.
Well, I think you're like the squire in the book. He's only half a knight, but he's bold and gregarious. And he always does his best. Don't stop being that half-knight, okay?
You got it. I'll become the kind of knight only I can be.
That's the spirit, Ash. Alright, last time...
Hello, Felix. So, it was your
No,
turn to
we'll
clean up the
just go.
greenhouse, right?
Yes.
Right ahead.
Well, I went ahead and took care of it. I also cleaned up the warehouse.
Why?
I just wanted to help you out. So that... Okay, fine. I'm bribing you. So you'll forget.
Forget what?
Are you really gonna make me say it? Before, in the greenhouse, I want you to forget what you saw and heard. If you agree to forget about it, I'll take your shift in the stables. Do we have a deal?
No thanks.
No? But that's not okay! You have to forget about it, right this moment!
I can't. It's permanently etched in my memory. A mountain of sweets, as well as steaks and cakes. Stacks of them, apparently. I'm also intrigued by those bear and swamp beastie songs you mentioned. Ah, and I've been meaning to ask about the move that went along with crumbs and yums. Was that fencing footwork?
Oh, stop it, Felix! You're a villain!
Hmm?
You think you're so funny? Keeping a straight face while mocking my singing and dancing? Well, you have to forget about it! Please! What if I make you a nice steak dinner? You like steak, don't you, Felix? It'll be yummy!
This isn't about steak. I just...
Fine! Be stubborn! Tell the whole world for all I care! I'll just learn to live with the funny looks I'll get from everyone! They'll all say, there goes that Annette, the girl with the funny ideas about food! You're just the evilest of villains, Felix! I'll hate you forever and ever!
I was just trying to be nice. Funny ideas about food? Even the bullies in her head are ridiculous. I really don't understand that girl.
Alright, well... It's nice to see Felix try to be nice.
Spectacular work, Felix!
Why are you here? You're interrupting.
Oh, my apologies. I simply thought you were doing a great job.
Just how sharp is that blade of yours, Felix? Do you imagine you might be able to cut something cleanly with it?
Probably.
Ah, wonderful! I have a special request for you then.
You want me to cut this firewood?
I do. I shall toss them one by one to you, and you shall make a sweeping blow to slice them.
Sounds like a chore.
I saw a knight do it once, so surely you can as well. Or perhaps you are worried that you are not capable.
What? I am more than capable.
Right. Show me what you are made of. Here it comes.
Doing them one by one is tedious. Just throw them all at once.
All of them? If you insist. Here we go! Wow, you truly are spectacular!
I know.
Okay.
You are undoubtedly the most revered woodcutter in all the land. Now I am intrigued. Next time, let us try an even larger woodpile.
Why did I agree to this?
Felix just chopping wood in midair. Oops.
Okay, now that you know the technique, go ahead and solve this problem.
Ah, I've got it. Finally.
See? Isn't it fun to learn?
Absolutely. You're great at this, you know. You really seem to have all the answers. I wish I could study and just soak up knowledge like you. How did you get so good at this?
Well, studying was something of a necessity for me.
What do you mean?
My father was one of the king's knights. One day, he never returned home. He just left without ever saying a word to me or my mother.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Losing a father so suddenly? I completely understand.
After he left, I thought a lot about where he might have gone. My father was a devout believer, so I was certain he must have come here, to Garreg Mach.
Here? Really?
That's why I was determined to gain acceptance into the academy. I needed to come here so I could search for my father. The problem was that I needed money to get in. Lots of it. And I didn't have any at all. So I entered the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad first, hoping I could somehow find a path here. I studied tirelessly until I finally earned myself a recommendation.
Oh, wow. So for you, studying has been like a way to meet your destiny.
Destiny, huh? Well, yes, but it's a bit embarrassing when you put it like that. Now I have other reasons for wanting to keep trying hard. I want to protect all of my friends and allies here. I'm studying hard so I can be as useful as possible to everyone I hold dear.
You've worked so hard. I really respect that. I'm going to follow your example.
Alright. That was nice. Ah, the important one. The one I've been trying for.
Hello, Catherine. I thought I might find you here.
Is there something I can do for you, Ash?
Yes. Could you tell me what you know about this?
This is quite an old letter. Where'd you find it?
It was found in the bishop's room during the inquiry of the Western Church.
I see. It's one of the documents you collected.
This letter mentions my brother, Christoph Gaspar, by name. He was executed by the church for allegedly taking part in the tragedy of Duscur. I know you were the one who turned him over. But this letter isn't about that. It's about a plot to assassinate Lady Rhea. If my brother's name is in here, that means this plot predates the tragedy. So there was another plot against Lady Rhea in the past, and my brother was somehow involved.
Ah.
I can tell by your face that you know something. Tell me, Catherine. Please, I deserve to know.
Christoph was a good man. Maybe too good. It wasn't in his nature to mistrust people. So when the Western Church told him that Lady Rhea had to die for the goddess's sake, or the world's, he went along with it.
Just how well did you know my brother?
Christoph and I were friends. We were in the Blue Lion House together at the academy.
If you were friends, why did you hand him over to be executed? There must have been another way.
No. If there was another option, I'd have chosen it. But he was foolish. He went along with the plan to assassinate Lady Rhea. I wasn't motivated by a personal grudge. I had no choice but to turn him in, that much is true.
I can't believe that my brother would try to assassinate Lady Rhea. But if he did, that means the church was lying about his involvement in the tragedy of Duscur, doesn't it?
Lying is a strong word. The world was in chaos, and the church did what it had to. If people had known about the threat to Lady Rhea's life, the panic would only have worsened.
So you're saying everything in this letter is true?
You can choose what to believe. All I know is I let him die, and that's something I can never change. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Catherine, wait! Please!
Well then. Moving along, I guess.
Mercedes, I swear, the whole cathedral glows with heavenly light when you're around.
Hello, Sylvain. What a treat to see you here. I thought you preferred places with more ladies around.
I'm here because you're here. And I don't care about other girls.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you use that line all the time.
Actually, I've only said it to girls who thought I was lying about being You know what? There's no reason to get into all that. The truth is, I would really like to spend some time with you. What do you say to that?
Well, if you were really interested in me, I would want you to get to know me better.
I agree. I've been such an idiot in the past, always angling for the seduction. I've forgotten how to just talk to someone.
You act like you're full of regret, but I know you don't really mean it. Still, I'm glad to hear you say that at least. I told you such a boring story the last time we spoke. I was worried you might think I was a dull person.
Dull? No. I was worried that I'd made you remember unhappy times. It's horrible what you had to go through. It's not like anyone chooses to be born with a crest.
Right. We can't choose our bloodline. You've got a crest too, haven't you, Sylvain? What has your experience been like?
Are you asking how being born with a crest affected me?
Yes. I know there was that business with your brother Miklon, but I'm sure you don't want to talk about all that.
It's not a very happy story.
Please don't feel the need to hold back on my account. I'm here if you need someone to share in your pain.
Would you want to know more about me, even if I didn't have a crest, or come from a noble family?
This has nothing to do with your crest or family. I'm just asking as your friend. How should I put this? When I look at you, I don't see a crest. I want to see the real you.
You do? Here's the short version. I hate crests. Even though having one is supposed to be such a great blessing, mine has ruined everything. Miklon was heir to our house. Then I was born, and I became the heir because I had a crest. That made my older brother jealous enough to want to kill me. And every woman in Fodlan wants to have my little crest baby, so they can join the nobility. Yeah, there you go. That's what it's like to have a crest.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to dredge up such awful things.
No, I should keep my temper better. I don't want you to see me act that way.
Don't say that. I'm glad we were able to talk. I feel like I'm finally seeing the real you. Oh, Sylvain, will you save me from the curse of having a crest?
Of course. I think I love you. And I mean that. With all my heart. I love you, Mercedes. Let's get married and have crest babies.
Sure.
Wow. Well, that was a bit of a roller coaster.
Sylvain! Good timing. There's something I want to say to you.
Uh-oh. Did I do something wrong? Did you spot me sneaking back in this morning? Or is it about that girl who got mad I kissed her sister goodnight? I can explain either way.
No, I'm not here to get after you about those things. Surely other people have that covered.
What I really want to talk about is your behavior during our training sessions. When we're sparring, you're always passing on great opportunities to get the edge on me. It's almost as though you're going out of your way to make me think you're incapable.
Nah, I just like giving other people the spotlight.
Uh-huh. It's not that you took something I said to heart about how you don't have to work hard to be good at stuff and how that isn't fair?
I did take those things to heart. We're friends, right? I'd be sad if you started to hate me. There's just one thing I want you to remember. Guys like me, who hate hard work and sort of get by on our wits, it all falls apart eventually. I'm smart enough to know that. So I respect people like you. I mean it.
Oh, is that sincerity? It's kind of creeping me out. It's just so unlike you.
Huh?
When you say nice things like that, I can't take joy in beating you. I want to beat you when you're at your best. That's why it bothers me so much when you don't try your hardest against me.
Let me put this a different way. I've always been treated like I'm special, and I'm not. At least, I don't think I am. I'm just tired of people thinking they know what I can and can't do. When everybody expects something of you, or envies you, it's kind of suffocating. I'd rather people think I'm dumb. Well, I mean, I can still be pretty dumb.
I have to admit, I have a hard time understanding where you're coming from. Just know that I want you to keep being great at everything without trying. If you stop being that way, I won't have any competition.
Competition, huh? I like the sound of that. Where the heck were you when I was growing up? If I had someone like you back then, I think I may have turned out different. And better, I mean. Anyway, I'd love to chat more with you. Would you like to grab some tea with me, or?
Oh, sure thing. The very next moment I'm free. For now, I need to get to my magic training.
Oh, I see. Some other time then. I look forward to it, Annette.
I was right. I suspected that before, and I was right. Sylvain was trying to keep people from placing expectations on him. That's why he pretended he just kind of bumbled his way into figuring out that magic book that Annette was reading.
Hey there, Flane. I thought I'd drop by and see if you'd care for a...
Now, just a moment, Sylvain. If you must speak with me, I implore you to do so from where you stand. My apologies if this comes across as rude, but please do not come any closer to me.
Excuse me?
I am sorry. My brother has explicitly warned me not to go near you.
Of course.
That? I bet he also told you any woman who comes too close to me is, how does he say it? Doomed to misfortune?
He used those very words. Is it true then?
Come on. He's just messing with you, obviously.
Of course I would prefer to believe that, but one can never know for certain. Particularly when similar stories are constantly in circulation about you. I have heard that men and women alike have been seduced by your nefarious ways.
I hate to suggest my talents are being oversold, but...
I have heard that you toy with people's emotions, like a cat toys with its prey.
Do I really look like such a villain to you?
Well, perhaps not. You do not strike me as much of a charmer.
When you put it like that, I feel like I should defend... Yeah, forget it. Let's get to the actual point.
Did I not tell you, Sylvain? Stay away from me.
It's kind of awkward talking from so far away. Can I please step just a little?
Truly, there are countless terrible stories of your behavior. I've heard that you panic when there aren't women around to flirt with, that you've gone as far as flirting with horses and even chickens.
Oh, come on. Who would even... You should know that your brother has an overactive imagination.
I would like to believe that you are a sincere and reputable person, Sylvain. But there is no smoke without fire. Or so the saying goes.
I may not be the most respectable fellow you'll ever meet, but...
Until I can be certain, please refrain from coming too close to me. Now, if you will excuse me, I must be on my way.
Flame, wait! Come back! And she's gone. All I was trying to do was deliver a message. Flame, hey! The professor said we need to come to the cathedral! I'll run really far ahead so you don't have to walk near me. There, I tried telling her. The professor can't be mad about that.
I suppose not. Alright. Keep chugging along. God, there's so many of these, though.
Arrival, Mercedes. My duties ran long, as per usual.
There's no need to apologize at all. Please, have a seat. We've met for tea so many times, but you never seem to get used to it, do you, Ingrid?
Not entirely, no. I'm not accustomed to being treated so delicately. Anyway, what will we talk about today?
I actually wanted to gripe about something that's been bothering me.
You? Gripe? Now that's unusual. I'm happy to listen, of course. It's the least I can do after all the kindness you've shown me.
Thank you. The one thing I really wanted to talk about is marriage.
Oh?
Yes. I received a letter from my adoptive father about marriage discussions with a noble family.
And will you accept?
That's the problem. No matter what I decide, I'll probably be married off anyway. What I really want to do is help those in need. But I think it would be more difficult to do so if I married a nobleman.
Understandably so. Sounds to me like you need a strategy to silence your father.
Sorry? To silence him?
Don't you agree? It seems the best course of action would be to consider severing all ties with the family and running away.
Oh, there you go.
We don't need to go that far.
That's how you get out of an arranged marriage.
I really just needed to let that out. I don't need you to worry about solving my problems.
Oh, okay. It's just a bit personal for me, actually. My own father has brought countless marriage proposals to my attention. He always was obsessed with me carrying on the family bloodline. At a very young age, my hand had already been promised to someone in marriage. But Glenn died young.
That must have been difficult for you. Would you have married him if he had survived?
That's a good question. It's hard to imagine now. Although I did admire him quite a lot. He held true to the ideals of knighthood, proudly serving the king. Even after all these years. But that's just it. I'm not a tool for furthering my family's fortunes. I'm a knight at heart, regardless of what my father desires.
I see. A very noble cause indeed. How strange that we should be worrying about the same thing.
Even though we are such different people.
It's true. Enjoying a nice chat over tea with you like this makes me realize maybe the paths we walk aren't so different after all. Don't you think?
I do. These tea parties of ours, they really are something special.
That they are. Ingrid, I would love to get to know you better if that's okay. I want to know about your childhood, your favorite books, the sweets you like, anything at all.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak with you anytime. And I want to know you better too, Mercedes.
How does their support not go to A rank? Honestly. Alright. Let's go, Cyril.
Did Cyril fall asleep here again? There's nothing to cover him with. He'll catch cold if he's here too long. Oh well, I guess I have no other options. I'll have to take care of this myself.
What's happening?
I'm keeping you warm so you don't catch cold. I'm sorry. Did I make you uncomfortable?
I was just surprised. Thanks, Mercy.
Oh, I'm happy to hear you call me that. You know, I seem to find you in here pretty often. Do you have a favorite book?
Nah, but it's always real quiet here, so it's where I like to sleep.
I see. You always seem so wrapped up in your work. That is, whenever you're not sleeping in the library. Do you have many friends here?
No, not really.
But don't you want some?
Having friends is much more fun than spending all of your time alone.
Nah, I don't want people treating me like an outsider. I'm better off alone.
An outsider? You? Who would possibly say?
Oh, so you don't think anyone thinks that? Should I tell you what happened to me before I came here?
Oh no, you really don't have to. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories. But you know, everyone here sees you as a friend. Even me. I see you as a good friend.
Percy, I'm sorry. I sure like everyone here too, but it feels like you're, I don't know. It sounds weird maybe, but I think you're something different than a friend.
Different? In what way? Do you not like me?
No, it's not that. I can't... You know how sometimes you can't explain things? This is that. If I had a sister, I think that might be how it feels being around you.
Really? That's just as well. You remind me of my little brother.
Oh, you got a brother?
I do, but I haven't seen him in so long. It's almost like he's not really my brother anymore. But you can count on me if you need anything at all. I'll do my best to help you out.
I can count on you for anything? Wow.
Well, alrighty then. Yes. Annette and Hanneman.
And that should explain it. Did you understand all of that, young Annette?
I did. Thank you very much. Oh, but I was also wondering about this part here. It seems a bit off.
Questioning something like this is proof that your understanding has grown. Most impressive. Sit there, and I'll put this on the blackboard so you may copy it into your notes for later study.
Wonderful. I can't wait.
I believe that should explain everything, yes? Any further questions?
None. Thank you so much. I feel so great. I'm really sorry for taking up so much of your time, though.
Not at all. Not at all. Your intellectual curiosity is marvelous to see. And you have a top-notch character. Keep on as you are, and I sense a bright future for you. Seeing you continue to grow and succeed is more than a humble professor like myself deserves.
Really? That's so nice of you to say. I'll do my best. I'm honored to be your student.
If only your friends would learn from your example. Yes, a classroom full of attentive, studious pupils would be quite refreshing after all these years.
Oh, poor
Have a
Hanneman.
good evening, Miss Annette, and do not hesitate to ask any other questions.
I won't, thank you. Goodbye for now.
Wait, you'll trip if you leave like that.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Alright, looks like we've got just one more to go.
Good work. Should we call it a day?
Thank you. Yes, let's. Catherine, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you something.
Let me guess. You're going to ask why you're so bad at predicting my attacks.
When I expect an attack from above, you surprise me from below. When I expect a jab, I get a sweep. You seem to anticipate my anticipation.
It's probably because you're a straightforward, honest person. You're reading my movements and trying to calculate what I'll do next.
That has always seemed the most sound strategy when engaging in combat, yes.
Right. Well, I take that anticipation and turn it against you. I use my eyes and the tilt of my sword to mislead you. Catching your opponent off guard is the trick to staying alive in combat. You've got to keep yourself alive if you want to protect Lady Rhea, right?
Your dedication to Lady Rhea's safety is truly inspiring, Catherine.
You flatter me.
My dream is to become a knight and protect my king, no matter the cost. There is no greater purpose I can serve. Although your fealty is sworn to Lady Rhea, you are the ideal knight I aspire to be.
Admire me to your heart's content, but I'm...
Catherine, I'd be honored if you would make me your squire.
My what now? Oh, you're far too straight-laced to be my squire.
However you might judge me, I'm quite serious about this.
All right then, why not? Let's start by teaching you how to flirt with handsome men.
Pardon me? That can't possibly be where you want to start.
Nah, I was just kidding. I wish I knew how to flirt with handsome men. Instead, let's teach you to lighten up.
Ah, understood.
Catherine doesn't know how to flirt with handsome men because she's always flirting with good-looking women. But alright, that's all the supports. Finally.